Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, gathered with some of the most incredible and excellent builders on the HermitCraft server in the founding meeting of the Monument Club, which is probably not what we're going to call it. So, howdy to Zombie Cleo.
Hi.
Red Eyes.
Hello.
Aureylian.
Hello.
And King Happy.
Hello.
And so roughly the idea of this organization, which we might yet rename something better like the Monument Club 2000, is that we will build interpretations of monuments from actual Earth in Planet HermitCraft, and we won't build them necessarily block for block and brick for brick, but interpret them in some way that makes them more fun for us individually. Like, for me, I thought it would be fun to combine the idea of the mausoleum at Halicarnassus with Biffa's Bowl from the original HermitCraft server. So I kind of incorporated architectural elements from both. Would you guys mind if I gave you a little tour?
No,
Go for it.
So one of the big things about the mausoleum at Halicarnassus that I liked is that nobody knows what it really looked like because it's gone now. But there are certain details that we do know, like the number of pillars on each side and things like that. So, you know, I was like, okay, I'll do the same number of pillars as the real mausoleum. But then I figured, wait, you know what? They don't have to be made out of the same materials like Roman concrete. I can just use water. And that's cool because Biffa's Bowl, the thing I'm making a monument to from the old server, was surrounded by water, you know? So that's just kind of one way I interpreted this. I obviously built an actual bowl here instead of interring somebody's bones, because there's no dead people on the server.
Yet.
Not
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
Wah, wah,
If somebody actually dies, we're gonna have to build a second mausoleum for like it's really bad that so and so got hit by a car. I don't want to even name names because I'm scared it'll happen. Yeah, and other changes that I kind of made to the actual mausoleum plan is like the real mausoleum supposedly had a 45-degree angle roof that met at a point at the top. But because Biffa's Bowl was open to the sky, I reinterpreted this so that the roof here would open to the sky as well.
I like it.
I do too.
Thank you. And then if you guys, you can jump off right here, and there's a little platform. Make sure you're not jumping to, you know, your death. But the real mausoleum had carvings all along the outside of it. And we don't have a lot of leather on the server yet, but as I accumulate it, I've been adding carvings of my own to the side of the wall here, demonstrating, in this case, the sand generator that Biffa used to fill in the ocean.
Oh, that's good. I was going to say, shouldn't these be stories? But I guess that's what you've done.
Well, and so, like, you know, because this is a particular interpretation of something from the old server, you know, that's kind of where I went with it. And other things on the sides might end up being other elements from his bowl or what have you. Now, obviously, not everything I make would be about Biffa's Bowl. This was just one particular choice. But, I don't know. Does this get you guys excited about making any of your own monuments? And do you have any that you had in mind?
I have
Well,
one,
to be honest,
I think.
I thought we were doing stuff a little bit bigger scale. I thought we were going to do maybe some group stuff.
Well, the mausoleum was very, very small anyway. It was
right.
it was a teeny thing. But yeah, I mean, for example, like the Hanging Gardens and the Colossus are definitely group projects.
Oh, yeah, and I would be happy to work with you guys on this. As you can see, the stairwell over here is still, like, not done. So if you guys have advice on making this not terrible, I would be happy to hear any of that and then implement it with your help. I decided to put the stairs on the backside because I was worried I would ruin it, and I kind of did, so that was smart. But, you know, I have until, you know, people start building over on this side of the monument before I have to start worrying about folks, you know, seeing how terrible they are.
I think it looks good.
But, yeah, thank you.
It's good.
But yeah, I definitely agree. I'd love to see more larger scale stuff in group projects. Now, Hanging Gardens, I know, Cleo, you had expressed an interest in that.
Yeah, it's. I was gonna. I don't know if you've seen my house, but that was sort of like a mini prototype that I was starting. But then my brain was sort of thinking about using a lot more glass and building in circles because I like circles. And then there was like, my brain went to different layers with lots of water and you know, actually it's a lot like this, with a lot of water pillars. So yeah, my brain's, it's not quite decided on it, but I like the idea of just actually having a garden that hangs and you have to get up to in different ways. I guess you guys are here to help figure out stuff, or if you've got any better ideas, certainly go for it.
Well, I like your point about prototyping with your house. Could you show us what you were thinking by showing us your house?
Yeah, sure. Come across. Wherever the
There's eventually a path down here. This, like I said, this is not done. But yeah, I really think that it's going to be important for us to build prototypes and, you know, smaller scale models to kind of express to each other what we're thinking, you know, because it's really hard sometimes to communicate, like, I want it to be tall, but not too tall.
Yeah, that's what I was
Bricky,
thinking
but
for the bigger stuff. We definitely need to build like a little mock-up.
And trip you up, King?
We should get some sort of little train track so that we can all choo-choo between the points of our door. Although I didn't know that we were going to Cleo, so I guess the train track would have to be pretty... there's a creeper in your house. Don't kill that horse. Does anybody have a bow?
Nope.
I have one in my chest.
Whoa.
Very
Sorry,
close.
I had to get it out of my inventory.
It's not the melon house, it's this one.
This one, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
I like the stripy thing, and I like the stone and the thing together, but I'm just not sure if it would work full big scale. But
I like it.
Thank you.
Now, do you have pillars underneath supporting it, or was that an element you chose to remove?
I've been looking at images of the hanging gardens, or well, considering they probably don't exist anyway, what people think they used to look like, and it was basically stuff like this on several different levels with the trees and stuff hanging over. So I mean, I quite like the idea of different layers and, you know, all in the same sort of style, but progressively getting smaller as you go up. Maybe like, I don't know, sort of like a circular pyramid, as it were, or a blocky one. Haven't decided.
Or you could even have it built like terraced into an existing hill or something like that.
That could work.
Yeah, if you looked at like architecture from like cliffed houses, like I'd look at even like smaller scale, like Better Homes and Gardens types photos. They've got plenty of tiered like landscaping plans that we might be able to go off of and then just add in bits of our own pieces.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
One thing that I'm looking at this and I'm realizing is, unlike if we were not using the snapshot, now that we've got these carpets, we could even use some of like the dark green and the green carpet, or like in autumn we could use like orange and red and yellow to give like a leafy texture to the ground. I guess we could just use leaf blocks too. But...
I love this under section, like what you've got underneath here. I don't know what you could do here, but this is really cool under here. Like if you could do like a fountain or something down here, this is a pretty cool area.
I think that would, it needs more water in it. I'm because like as a garden it needs, you know, to have a way of, because that's the reason why it was terraced. So
yeah.
Well,
it looks great.
The image I had of it would be, I thought you were gonna have like multiple layers, and then between them would be the trees and the waterfalls and things kind of flowing between the layers.
That could work too.
Oh, okay. So like pedestrian garden layers mixed with tree terraces.
And like waterfalls and things going between them. Kind of like a living waterfall kind of thing.
That sounds awesome, actually.
Yeah, I like the idea of living waterfall. Because we
cool.
talked before about having like redstone elements to it. So it's actually doing stuff.
Oh, you could even have it like shift the water flow from day and night and things like that.
Oh yeah, you could definitely do that.
Sensors.
Yeah, like and you have the lights turning on and off and musical notes going and things.
Okay, that definitely sounds like something I you know, you guys need to help me with.
Like a rain chain. That would be cool. Have you guys seen those rain chains where it rains and you can hear them? If we could mix in music blocks, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, you can do that.
What's a rain chain? Is that like a wind chime?
It's kind of the same thing. They're made out of copper bowls. and they hang on a chain where it's like bowl after bowl every like inch or so, and when it rains they fill up and spill into the next one, so it chimes, but it's made out of raindrops.
Interesting.
They're cool.
I've not seen those.
They're very cool.
Sounds highly annoying to me.
He's like, I hate that idea. Don't do that ever.
I need a bell to remind me that it's obnoxiously wet outside.
Well, I think what you have here looks great. I like it.
Yeah, it's just figuring out how to get it onto a bigger scale, I think, that's not irritating for everyone.
Well, and that was something too. Like, I talked to Topmass, who was like built. You see that mountain beyond the water pillar there? He's got a base set up on the other side of that mountain, and he was like, I wish people would build cool stuff around my place so I could look at it.
Well,
and so
you could do it next to the mountain.
So is he next to a big ocean?
No, I don't think there are big oceans on this seed, or at least not near us.
So one of my ideas that I wanted to do was I wanted to do like an underwater Atlantis. So I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I need a big body of water, and it looks like there might be one.
Should we go
over
and
there.
have a look at Topmass's house then?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
head over
could.
that way.
I don't know
I think
exactly.
he's just got a little house.
Yeah, it's just a little storage thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we could look at the terrain and see like what we would want to build if we were out there, but yeah, the house itself is not particularly impressive at this point.
Was it
It's
on the
just
other side, or is it this
The
cobble
other side
one?
on the left.
It's on the left side of the
Oh
It's
yeah,
behind the mountain.
there was a place I was thinking of setting up my base. It's sort of in between here and where you spawn. And I think that's just in Topmass's view as well. Like a nice valley.
Yeah, and we can make these our personal bases as well. That they like, like my base right now is in the basement of a mausoleum, which sounds a lot more depressing than it is.
That's where they keep the bones, right?
Yep. Only if you're good, though.
But your neighbors are peaceful.
Oh, bad.
Sorry, that was terrible.
But yeah, here's Topmass's little house. But so, like, you see how there's, like, that mountain across from him there. We'd want to talk to him about what we were building, because just to make sure he doesn't have any other plans for it. But,
well, we need kind of like a river for the Colossus anyway, so, that's a thought.
Well, for the Colossus, there's kind of two trains of thought. Traditionally, the rumor was that it actually stood astride with 1 foot on each shore, but they're saying, well, engineering-wise, that probably isn't how it was actually built. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted to make sure that we didn't try to take everything too literally with this project, because it's going to be way cooler if we have a massive statue with 1 foot on either side of the shore.
Yeah, rule of cool. I think that applies to everything we build. It has to just look cool.
Yeah. Much more than accuracy.
It's
They're
much more
Minecraft
important.
after all.
But yeah, so like if we were to build a giant Colossus, though, there's the question of, like, for example, should we make a giant generic bee statue or something ludicrous like that? I'm not saying it has to be that, but something equally ludicrous. Like, if it was December, I'd say we should build a giant Santa Colossus.
Ha!
For Jenny,
We need to build a Colossus that we can actually decorate for the seasons, I think.
Oh yeah. I love Red Eye's Sphinx generic bee idea though. That is great. And we could have cat food in front of it. Because there's sorry, Cleo. There's a thing where generic bee had a whole episode where he just talked about how he accidentally tricked himself into eating cat food, and so, but yeah, the Sphinx thing works. But yeah, we could definitely work something in this valley that would be cool. And what I want to make sure that we do, though, is also that we make sure to build these things where people will see it in their videos. Like, I want to be beautifying the whole server, not just like, oh, we're going to go off in the wilderness and make one area look cool that nobody will ever see.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'd have to
absolutely
build
and we have
within
to
view
finish
of...
the project as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I was thinking each time we did a project, one of us would take charge and be the one that, like, if people had questions, they knew who to go to. And we would take turns or whatever, depending on who was interested in what. So, like, obviously, if Red Eyes decided to build, the Sphinx, we would all go help, but, he would be we wouldn't butt heads with him. He would just be in charge. Does that make sense?
Like he would be the project manager or the
that's the best way to put it. Yes.
Or the general
Project
contractor.
I think project manager might be better than general contractor for this.
Whatever you say, Joe Hills.
I mean, you guys can disagree. We could go with general contractor, red eyes.
I like project manager.
I like project manager, I have to say.
So, like, for example, if somebody wanted to work with the work on the mausoleum, they would know, oh, okay, I'll go talk to Joe about that.
I think that's
so
good.
How do we want to do it? Do we just want to do sort of like maybe start projects sort of sequentially, so we get the bulk of one thing done before moving on to the next, or what?
I mean, we could do that if we do, I mean, I don't know if this is like just me being OCD, but we could have like an ongoing open Google like Excel kind of a document, and then just list like, okay, I'm gonna build this. I know that I'm gonna need a ton of sandstone, or I'm gonna need a ton of cobblestone or glass, and so people know like the order of what things can be done, and that way if they're playing by themselves, they've got the ability to help out by saying, okay, well, I'm gonna go gather a bunch of sandstone or whatever for the project.
Well, and to even take that one step further public-wise, maybe having at the location, we put up a signboard that says, you know, future location of hanging gardens. And then we have a bunch of empty chests, and we say needed materials, 8 stacks of sandstone.
Yeah.
And so that way, if somebody else is on the server, it's like, oh, hey, what's going here? Oh, I've got some extra sandstone. Let me throw it in. You know?
Well, that really is how big projects work. I mean, you have all these different layers. You've got the people getting the materials, people bringing them in.
Right.
People designing, people just doing what they're told.
Yeah, and hopefully other people on the server would want to help with individual projects, but I just wanted to create a separate Skype group for those who had the most interest, so we weren't constantly spamming the general chat.
I agree. Somebody build a bridge out here, or is that like a natural... Is that made out of gravel?
That looks like cobble to me.
It's cobble. I wonder if somebody...
It's probably somebody's very, very failed horse stable. It's like, oh no, my horse is in the water. I'll save it.